Good afternoon and welcome to the Advice Media webinar for March. My name is John Pennell and I'm the Vice President of Sales for Advice Media. Our regular host, Chad Erickson, is out of the office today, so I am filling in for him. Whether or not this is your first time listening to our webinars, or if you're a regular participant on our emails, we appreciate you taking time to listen and hope that you find value in the content that we provide each month to help grow and strengthen your practice. As always, the webinar is being recorded, and by tomorrow afternoon, you'll be able to find the recording of this webinar along with all of our other webinars on the advicemedia.com website. Before I introduce our guest today, let me draw your attention to the question feature on the GoToWebinar control panel. I'll be moderating your questions today. This means that we want to hear your questions. We want you to ask them of our guests. In order to maintain a smooth flow, however, Steve will provide, our presenter will provide his entire presentation, and we'll answer all questions at the very end. And it is my esteemed pleasure to introduce our guest today, Mr. Steven Seidel. Steve is the award-winning CEO and founder of the Seidel Agency and current acting VP of Marketing for Serena Aesthetics. Whether speaking, marketing, or consulting with clients, Steve strives to impact, inspire, and empower using innovative solutions to market your mission. A few favorite clients include Miradry, Aesthetic Everything, and Friend Media, as well as collaborations with Dr. Grant Stevens, Dr. Paul Nassif, Dr. Sheila Nazarian, and Chris Corsandi. Steve, thank you for taking time to be here today. I'll turn the rest of the time over to you for your presentation on how to get more patients using video.
Great, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here today, and you can hear me correctly, correct?
You sound loud and clear, thank you.
All right, perfect, just want to ensure that. Well, I wanted to thank everybody for joining. I want to thank you for the wonderful introduction. It's an honor to be here, and first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for their time, all the physicians, all the dentists, all the med spas, everybody that's joining today. Thank you so much for coming on board today and giving us a little bit of your time. I know it's valuable. ASLMS is going on in Denver. So as a physician or a medical practitioner, you have all sacrificed a lot to really be where you are today. And first, I want to say thank you. I'm going to applaud you for giving back and helping this world become a better place. My mission is to impact, inspire, and empower. And to kick things off, I just want to share a quick video to show the power of video and storytelling. And then I'll come back and we'll dive right into the presentation. So here's a quick little video for you.
I was on the A train approaching 125th Street. The doors closed, and that's it. That's the last thing I remember. The lights went out for me. I started foaming at the mouth, started flailing, and turning blue. Dr. Talani was sitting a few seats away. She noticed this. She drags my body out to the middle of the train car, called out, "Does anyone else know CPR?" A gentleman named Tony Medaglia raised his hand, volunteered. And the two of them went ahead and just took turns performing chest compressions. During that time, Tony's business suit became drenched with sweat. The doctor, she had large bruises on the palms of her hands and on her knees. Tony left early that day from work to go watch his son play basketball. Oh, he missed the basketball game. He never got to see the kid play basketball, but he saved my life. And what do you say to people like this? Thank you. That's sweet.
So as you can see, that's a very powerful video, and storytelling allows us to connect. It's allowing us to connect here today, so I'm grateful for this opportunity. A little bit about myself. I started out as an engineer. I went to Penn State University, and then I got involved in hosting. I was a host and an influencer, which led me into naturally creating marketing content. And a close friend of mine, Dan Townsley, brought me in to work with Miradry. I worked under the tutelage of Bobby Tyson. He was a mentor of mine. We were actually able to take Miradry as a really small ad hoc marketing company and build it to become acquired by Sientra. So that was an amazing experience, and we've been building since then. And so it's an honor to be here, and I look forward to sharing some of my insights with you. The second slide here, so this is just a quick little example. You'll see a picture there. That's a young gal. She was on a TV show called Life in Pieces. And this is a little video that'll demonstrate a few of the doctors that we've worked with, so you can get to know a little bit more about how these videos can impact you. And this is another way of showing a different type of video. The first one was more of a storytelling narrative, and this is more of a sizzle reel. Imagine a steady stream of patients per month. At the Seidel Agency, we help build your brand with advanced marketing campaigns to drive traffic to your treatments. Here are some amazing physicians we've worked with. So that's just another quick video, just giving you a little bit of my background about some of the doctors we've worked with. And so for you guys, you're a physician, you have a medical facility, you're a medical practitioner. That's one hat that you're wearing. But in today's day and age, we need to build our brands. So this is a second hat that we're all wearing. You're an entrepreneur. And so just by joining this call, I applaud you. And we're going to walk you down some of the things that you can do to increase patients at your practice. And so why video matters. Video is an extremely important asset to your medical facility, your practice, for several reasons. It's primarily the #1 highest performing marketing material out there. There's several reasons for that. Obviously, the amount of time that you're spending is limited. Users want to scroll through their feeds. They want to look at videos on websites. They're checking out their emails. Everybody is being bombarded by messages. So if you can create a video that connects to somebody and tells a story and allows them to access their human emotions, that's really going to drive them. And so you're in an interesting position where sometimes people don't know about you, or they don't have that familiarity, or you haven't gotten that word of mouth marketing. So when you're leveraging video, it really does make a difference. It can boost your patient satisfaction, compliance. It really generates that awareness so that you can take the steps and walk them through educating, driving action, clicking for a consultation or an appointment, and then ultimately gaining that patient and then retaining them through word of mouth marketing, such as testimonials. A key component of video is really humanizing your practice. And so it allows somebody to find out about, you and what you're providing without necessarily stepping into the door. There's several ways that you could showcase your expertise, educate them, and really demonstrate those results. And these are just some statistics that you see here, but 80% of millennials have purchased after watching a video. It's becoming increasingly more popular because people want that transparency and they want to see and know what's going on behind the scenes. So the more open you can be and allow it to become a portal into your world, the more you're going to see the effectiveness behind that. From a marketing perspective, marketers are seeing a huge return on investment by leveraging these videos, as opposed to other marketers that are maybe using text or images. Not saying that you shouldn't use those, but this is going to be part of your total package. And so why video works? Video works for a number of reasons. We recently touched upon those, but the ability for people to really learn about you and to access your story and connect to these human emotions is the primary motivation for the success around them. You'll look at viral videos, to use a buzzworthy term. People are sharing those videos because they either feel like they found something special. They're early adopters. They're letting you in on a secret. You're becoming part of a tribe. Other people are sharing these videos because it touches them. It makes them feel great. When you're at your practice, you're ultimately giving them back their self-confidence. You're helping them fall in love with themselves again. And so if there's a video that's demonstrating that, then they want to share it with the world. And there's those human emotions. And sometimes, like that other video, there's a sadness involved in that where, ultimately at the end of the day, he's become a hero. And so you are the hero. You're telling your story and you're finding ways to connect with these patients, build a community, and then ultimately convert them into, lifelong patients. And so 90% of videos are actually helping in the purchasing. You'll see that when you put that video, any video that, ultimately we'll talk a little bit more about types of videos, but when you have a video inside of your email, it's going to increase the click-through rates by 200 to 300%. So, and having that right at the top, as well as websites, having them right on your website is going to be an amazing location for that. But it's really demonstrating engagement and converting people. And if you put video in the subject line of that email that you're sending out, it's actually going to increase the open rate as well. So there's a lot of benefits that are coming out of these videos, and we're going to continue to talk a little bit more. So in terms of what is a video worth, you can't really put a price tag on these videos, because think about it. If you were to create a video that ultimately connected with one patient and they came into your practice, let's say a filler patient, traditionally the lifetime value of a filler patient is about $8,000. So if you convert one patient on this video, that's $8,000 right there. And then if they tell somebody else, that's another $8,000. And then, you know, it continues to grow. And so the value behind these videos is immense. If you look at Dropbox, they actually launched their company with one single video, and the clicks around that video is started to explode. And to date, they've had over 25 million views. And so if you can take the time, you know, and it doesn't need to be super professional, we'll talk about that later. But if you're taking the time to really take a step back, think about what your story is and how you can share that story and what makes you truly unique, that's what's going to resonate. You know, oftentimes people ask me, how do I differentiate my practice? Well, there's a handful of things that you can do. You know, you could obviously have a higher standard of care. You could, you know, pay attention to every individual touch point in your practice so that it's leaving a wonderful, amazing experience. But allowing video to serve these purposes is really going to help you drive the needle and start to increase the both the discoverability, the awareness, but also the ability for you to be, you know, a premier practice. And so sometimes people try, oh, I'll do a Groupon ad, or I'll do some other small ad campaigns that are doing coupons. Well, really, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to have that synergy of building awareness, educating, and then driving business by just creating simple videos. And they don't need to be complex. Another thing is there was a study done by McQueevy's Forrester study. I'm not quite sure if I'm saying that right, but it was mentioning that a video is actually worth 1.8 million words. So if you think about blog posts on your websites, you know, imagery that you have, I couldn't even think, I feel 50,000 words per blog. I mean, that's an extremely high number of blogs. But in addition to these videos, when you start placing them in certain locations, they're going to increase your discoverability on Google, and that's organic traffic. You can also utilize these videos for paid traffic, and we'll talk a little bit more about that just here in a second. So before you start to launch your video marketing campaign, it's always good to really take a step back, figure out what makes you unique. So lots of times when I talk to practices or I talk to doctors, that's really where I start. It starts with the why, you know, what makes you unique? Why are you doing what you're doing? Is it because there's one doctor I worked with, Dr. Rich, and so he wants to make everybody smile. He's the smile doctor. There's Dr. Bill Dorfman, who is America's dentist. Something similar, but he wants everybody to, you know, live a happy lifestyle by showcasing a smile as well. And so if you can really dig deep into what your purpose is and stand on that and share that with your branding and your marketing, that's going to put you above and beyond your competition. That's going to be the competitive advantage. Some doctors say, I just want to make a lot of money. You know, I have a unique opportunity in the marketplace. But when you see people that are both in a unique positioning in the marketplace from a brand perspective, but also have a higher purpose, you're going to see many more patients coming in. You're going to see the ability for you to command, you know, a little bit more in terms of your time and your services. You'll be growing, you'll be scaling. There was a recent study done by Nielsen that says socially conscious brands are able to command more money than other brands that aren't socially conscious. So when you have that accountability, you have that higher sense of purpose, you're going to be able to attract, you know, the higher clientele, bigger opportunities to your practice. And so when you uncover your purpose, you find out that it is aligned with your goal. You know, some doctors, Dr. Nazarian, I went to the Brand Institute, was mentioning, you know, she wanted to grow her practice and she wanted to be a key opinion leader on television. And so when she creates videos, she creates with the end in mind. And so when you know what your goal is with these videos, then you can begin to roll them out. And you don't need to know right away. You can have a general understanding. It will change, but to have a plan and really, a GPS, your goals, your process, and your success, it's really going to help you build towards that. And a really great thing about this video is it allows you to stay up to date with a lot of these millennials. Everybody's talking about, I want to reach the younger demographic. You can still have your baby boomers, but you can also attract younger patients because that's where they're spending their time. They're looking at videos. They're on Instagram scrolling through their feed. So you do want to try and find a way to differentiate your practice, but also have thumb-stoppable content. And what that is that's content that will allow the end user or potential patients or returning patients to stop and look at your video. And that's what we want to do. We want to take your purpose, your goals, get them to stop, connect with you, understand your story, and then come into your practice and take the next steps. So this next slide here is, who is your audience? I just talked a little bit about millennials, baby boomers. It's really great to get an understanding of your target personas. And so you might be in Idaho, you might be in Chicago, you might be in Miami, where a lot of people are coming and they want to look good on the beach. And so really understanding some of the nuances of who your target audience is, it's going to help you deliver a video that's going to resonate with them. And we've all heard of the phrase, jack of all trades, master of none. And so the riches are in the niches. When you get specific and focus on who your target audience is it a mom who lives in middle America who is a teacher and she comes home and she's had a hard day at work and she sits down at her computer or sits down scrolling through her phone before watching Real Housewives, right after putting her kids to bed, you're going to know that, yeah, she likes Real Housewives. She wants to look good. Maybe she wants to focus on Botox, fillers, anti-aging. She has a limited amount of time. You can speak to her quickly and showcase the benefits about being busy, about not having a lot of time because of having, kids, a job, a husband. And the way that you really fully can understand your audience is going to be crucial to your success. You may be a cosmetic dentist who really wants to transform people's lives because they've had teeth and bad self-esteem for years on end. So that may be something where you're going back to high school and taking a before and after of you in high school and showing the after of you where you're at and telling them, look, I've done it. You can do it too. And you can do that in a video. And when you know your audience and you know the user, you can really target them and segment them accordingly. How can you reach your target audience? And so this goes back to different ways that we can leverage these videos. You have television ads, which is standard. You have ways that you could take those television ads, strip out the audio, put them on radio. Podcasts are becoming increasingly popular. So when you're creating these videos as your primary source of content, you have that foundation and you can take a still from a video. You can take an audio from a video. You can take a transcription from a video and post that in a vlog or a blog. These are all individual ways that you can repurpose the content. And so when you create this video, there's several different types of videos. You could have a meet my practice. You could have meet my doctor. These are all ways to humanize your practice. You want to welcome them. You could shoot a video coming in your front door to the front desk, up to the check-in, in the waiting room. Show them the entire process so that they become familiar with what it's like to be inside your practice. Real Self talks about, we all know Real Self as a social platform. The most influential, important videos that you can deliver are these testimonials. We live in a society where everybody is looking for validation. They want to see that other people have gone to your practice. And so when people are filming these testimonials, you could ask them for a testimonial prior to leaving your office and say, hey, we'll give you a $5 gift card to Starbucks would you mind just recording a quick video? Obviously, you'd want to have that release form signed so that you can use it for marketing. But that's going to help you. If they post that video on Facebook, if they post that video on Yelp, if they post it on Advice Media, if they post it on any number of sources where there's review platforms, that's going to drive behavior. And these reviews that they leave are really moving the needle. Word of mouth marketing is the most important form of marketing. And there's no other way that you can do it more successfully than by leveraging video. In addition, tutorial videos. This is a great way to show people your bedside manner, your precision, how professional you are. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a fully produced video. You could do it on Snapchat. You could do it on Instagram, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But the major hurdle is a lot of doctors and practices don't have that time. And so that's fully understandable. So it may be worthwhile to hire an intern, a college student, require an office assistant to assist, or even when somebody cancels on a day where you have back-to-back surgeries or appointments, that's your time. And that may be once a month or a week, but dedicate that to really capture a few of these videos to showcase your treatments, to showcase your expertise, to showcase results. Like I said before, there's also the explainer videos to really showcase, how you're doing it. And the individual, maybe you're using cannulas to minimize bruising. I work with a company called Ciarna Aesthetics. It's an anti-bruising pad where it actually virtually eliminates bruising. And so people talk about using this to eliminate the fears of people, A, coming into your practice. Obviously, that's getting over the hump, the retention. B, maybe delaying treatments. When you're sending these videos out, they can feel more comfortable with you. Frequently asked questions are great. Sometimes they're listed on your website, but what if you were to create a frequently asked question video tutorial and post them on your website? We talked a little bit about discoverability. When you post these videos on YouTube, YouTube is owned by Google. One way to reach your target audience is to upload these videos to YouTube. By uploading them to YouTube, you are going to increase your search terms, your SEO, because when they go to your practice, they go to and watch that video. Frequently asked questions is a great example, or a procedural video. They're going to be sitting on your website for 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 minutes at a time doing research, because they want to ensure that A, you're capable of doing what you're doing, B, it's going to be an enjoyable experience, and C, all of their needs are going to be met. And Google interprets that as 10 minutes on that site. They must have found what they needed. And so the more you can embed these YouTube videos into your website, as well as your emails, it's going to increase the discoverability. And when you are uploading videos, I do suggest uploading to YouTube as more of the primary foundation because of this Google association and the ability to drive organic searches. And then Facebook secondary if you are going to upload those to Facebook and Instagram, which I highly suggest. If you have a video, put it where you can put it. Next slide. Where should these videos live? And so we talked a little about it just recently. There's several places for these videos to live. We work with one of our partners is Friend Media. And so Friend Media allows you to drive in-practice marketing. So when you're sitting in an office waiting room and you have a YouTube video, you can target people within that waiting room. So oftentimes you may entice somebody to come in for a minor procedure, or we call that the milk product. When you have a milk product, you get them into your quote unquote grocery store with that milk product. Then, and there's a reason why that milk is in the back right corner of every grocery store. They walk into your doors, they sit in your waiting room, then you can show them all the other wonderful treatments you are doing. And I highly suggest that all of these treatments you're showcasing have you in them, as opposed to, maybe another doctor or other standardized videos, find a way to incorporate your branding into all of the marketing materials that are surrounding them while they wait. And so email, we talked a little bit about emails embedded in the signature. Social media, there's the organic posting on whether or not it's your profile. Instagram is a really great tool because they have native ads. So the reason why we call it native ads is it's actually mixed into your discovery process. So it's one long scrolling feed. And as you're scrolling, you see organic content from your friends, but you're also seeing ads. And so it's right there in front of them. Whereas Google ads are on the right side, they're on the top and the bottom when you're searching, but Instagram, it's right in there. And as an aesthetic professional, you should definitely be building your Instagram profile, sharing your practice, like I said before, educate, expertise, results. So if you're not leveraging Instagram, I highly, highly suggest you take a look at that. Here's just a quick deck from Real Self. Thank you to Real Self for sharing this at Conversations. 88 billion beauty-related views on YouTube. But what I want to talk about is, if you take a look here, these are some of the bigger names that are growing their practices on Instagram. But Instagram is the primary platform that is really driving a lot of user behavior in terms of social media. And you can do the, like I said, organic posted on your profile, or on Instagram, you can boost posts. On Facebook, you can also boost posts. You can do live videos, which are really effective, where you're showcasing these live treatments. And then there's the website videos. So here is Dr. Sheila Nazarian's, and you'll see that she has several individual examples of practices that she's performing. I think she has one for every individual treatment, to be honest with you. She does very little spend on paid ads because of the YouTube, the discoverability, and she also has a Get a Quote Today button at the top, which is really effective. That comes from a company called Build My Bod by Jonathan Kaplan. If you do want to sign up for that, we work with them. You can get a discount. You could say, type in Seidel. But that's really effective because that allows somebody to come to the website. They discover these videos. While discovering the videos, they're interested. And price transparency is becoming increasingly popular. So they click Get a Quote. They actually have to fill out their information in order to get a quote. It tells them what the procedure technically should cost, as a generalization. Sometimes it's different. And then you can even turn it around and do a video consultation. So here we are, creating a video, driving traffic, getting patients to come into your office, doing a patient consultation with FaceTime or Skype, and you have not even left your office. I'm going to show you a quick example of a website video that's really great. So here's Europhoria. This is a website that's built by Advice Media. Thank you to Advice Media. Mike Antosi is a friend of mine, speaks to the power of networking. But this is a really high-performing website. They did not do the video, but the video that you see here is a video loop, and you'll see that it really showcases your practice. It's engaging you. It's showing your story in literally 5 to 10 seconds. And so you see everything that that facility has to offer. You're engaged, and then you'll see that button right there, make a reservation online, or like I said before, there's that other tool, Get a Quote. Everybody has something different. So what types of social videos are there? And so this is a huge opportunity for you to build your brand. You have the short form versus the long form. A long form video is something that is a little bit longer. It's a tutorial, it's an instructional video. It's typically any video longer than 2.5 minutes. And it goes as long words of 20 minutes. If you're doing a 20-minute video, people probably will not get past 3 minutes unless they are engaged. And if they are, then great work. Long form videos traditionally live on Facebook and YouTube. The short form videos, Instagram allows you to do 60-second videos on the profile, and then you have shorter form videos on the story. And so traditionally the stories are more of a bite-sized daily content, whereas the profile is more of the overarching evergreen content. LinkedIn is also great if you're targeting B2B. Let's say that you're a doctor and you're sharing, some sort of platform or solution. B2B, LinkedIn should definitely be involved there. If you're targeting patients, the patients are on Instagram, like I mentioned. Patients are on Facebook if they're older in the demographic sense. They are on Pinterest, but primarily I typically tell my clients to focus on Instagram, LinkedIn to really build out your own brand, YouTube, and Facebook. Twitter is also great to really connect on a larger capacity to brands and companies, medical devices, and really, showcase your expertise in bite-sized pieces of information. Vertical versus horizontal. Vertical filming is primarily for Snapchat and Instagram. That's something that came out of Snapchat started it, Instagram followed suit. And so it just makes it really easy to shoot a video. If you are filming a video for YouTube or Facebook that's going to live on those platforms, film it horizontal because you want to maximize the entire screen. If you're filming vertical, it'll crop it off and you'll just have less real estate to really capture your story and connect with people. Linear narrative versus live stream. Live streaming your treatments can be really, really successful because people want to see you performing these treatments. If you don't want to live stream them, you could do bite-sized pieces of information, bite-sized videos on Instagram or Snapchat. And another thing, user-generated versus professional. A while ago, everybody had professional content, and so it needed to be high-end, look sharp, best audio you've ever seen. But in today's day and age, given the rise of user-generated videos, influencers, several platforms, it's actually felt to be more organic, more transparent, and more relatable to have user-generated content. So having a nice, healthy balance is really going to help you. Move on to the next slide. So what should each video have? Every video should look as great as possible. You really want to focus on the lighting. Obviously, if you don't have lighting available, do your best to shine some lights, be in a well-lit area, find a better room. Really minimize the amount of noise, whether it's audio or visual around you, so that you can focus on your story and what you're delivering in that video. Really smiling. I met with Robert from Shark Tank, and we had a great long discussion, and we spoke at great lengths, and he said, 65% of the time you'll be further along in your process if you simply smile. And so some doctors or other practitioners, they're very serious, and that's what they do, which is totally fine. But if you do show a smile, it's going to mean the world to the patient or the potential client on the other end. Really showcase your personality. Being truthful and transparent when you're talking to them and sharing these videos and sharing your content is going to build trust immediately right out of the door. And it's also a great way to really showcase, maybe you're warm and welcoming, and maybe you're a potential fertility doctor, and you need to be calm and welcome them. And so that could be a way that you can demonstrate that in a video, very serene. Or maybe you're building a practice where it's a med spa and you really want it to be almost like Burke Williams, and so it could have a little bit of electricity followed with a really great ambiance, but you can showcase all of these things in your videos. So how can you set up these videos for success? So the length of the video I talked about a little bit earlier is, if you're going to do a video, if it's going longer than 2 minutes, it's anything after 2 minutes you're going to see is usually a waste of time. So really just focus on what matters. You want to capture them in the beginning. You really want to capture them right up front. If you're going to show your logo, suggest showing your logo for a second, maybe 1.5 seconds. You'll see in my video is about 1.5 seconds. Just show it to them real quick. They're not really concerned that much, but you should have it there for branding. Have a call to action at the end of that video where you're giving them an offer or you're incentivizing them to click through. And then with the descriptions, you can go to Google, you can go to sites like BuzzSumo and type in, lip fillers, and find different keywords and articles that are resonating, and take those keywords and embed them in your description so that it'll rank higher with the Google Analytics. The rule of 7. So when you're creating a title, Try not to keep it longer than, try to keep it to 7 words or less. And typically you have 7 seconds to capture their attention in those videos. If they're watching for 7 seconds, they're going to scroll. In addition to the tagging and the meta tagging, these are all things you can do on the back end. 85% of people that are watching these videos and scrolling through are often doing it when they're at work, when they're in a doctor's office, or when they're in a public setting where they can't really have the audio on. So be sure to leverage closed captioning on YouTube. They provide that. Facebook has some tools. Or if you're creating a video and you're working with somebody, write it along the bottom there where what you're saying so they can access that information. Thumbnails are essential. Thumbnails are the images that you're going to see that are going to motivate you to click that video. When you're uploading on Instagram, you can pick your cover. It's called your cover photo there. A thumbnail on YouTube should be something that's telling a story. Ogilvy on advertising often talks about that image should show action. It should showcase, if you're doing a breast augmentation, maybe there's, you've already completed one and you're completing the second. You're in the middle of an action, so the user wants to see it completed. And those videos on YouTube, maybe put yourself in them so they can see you as an overlay, so you're continuing to brand yourself, but then you see what's happening behind you in the actual video. And you can put those videos in a playlist so that when they watch one video, it'll take them down, as opposed to just uploading them. If there's one video that they're watching about, cosmetic dentistry, it may take them to another video, but if it's part of a playlist, it'll continue to run. And when you're driving people with these videos, in your description or in your messaging, in Instagram messaging, you have 10 characters that people have visible at the front of their videos. Those first 10 characters, make them valuable, make that user see something that incentivizes them and motivates them to take action. In YouTube or Facebook, when you're doing a description around the video, have a call to action, such as, go to my website. If you go to a website, like I said before, Build My Bod has that get a quote. They'll go to the website, they'll see the video, they'll want to get a quote. You have other ways to really take them to the next step, but make it easy for them to get a quote, to get a consultation, and even have that in the description of the video. So do you need a production team? Not at all. I've seen several doctor friends of mine. Dr. Charles Galanis is a buddy of mine in Beverly Hills. He shoots all of his videos himself. He primarily leverages Instagram. And so you do not need a production team. You need a phone. And like I said before, if it's Instagram, it's vertical video. If you're shooting a video for YouTube, do it horizontal. And then go online, find some license-free, royalty-free music. You can type it on YouTube. You can download it and use that as music if you'd like to have that. There's apps like Over, which will allow you to overlay your logo. There's Video Show or iMovie, which are really simple to edit. And start small. Keep it simple. Keep it specific. You can even buy a tripod ring on Amazon for $100. There's little stabilizers that will hold your phone so that you can have a steady shot. Free Vision is a company that we work with that you can stabilize the shot to really have it a really simple feel. And so simple, quick tips on creating videos, make them feel, humanize these videos so that it is something that they can connect to, and humanize your approach. Optimize these videos for mobile. 75% of activities occurring and happening on mobile. So do make sure that it's viewable on mobile. And that's where I talked a little bit more about the closed captioning. Because people on their desktop obviously could probably watch the video, but if they're on mobile, they may not be watching it in a suitable environment. Partner with influencers and physicians. It's all about that synergy of 1 + 1 = 3. And there's ways, happy to talk at great lengths, later on, you can email me later, to find key influencers in your space. Just by searching on Instagram, if you do hashtag Raleigh and you're in Raleigh, North Carolina, you can see the highest performing posts. Click on a couple people, and if somebody's talking about skincare, that may be somebody that you may want to bring into your practice if you're doing cosmetic treatments. Offer them, potential product in lieu of posting, coming in and getting a treatment. And being really consistent with your content calendars. Trying to post on social once a day. If you're doing videos on YouTube, try and be consistent with that, because it's almost like a news station In the early 80s, 90s, you knew NBC News was on 6 o'clock. Well, we want to know where to find you every day, every week. And there's ways to optimize posting time for viewability. Google should be your best friend. Best times to post on LinkedIn. It'll come up. Leverage these tentpole events because there's going to be a swell of activity. Super Bowl, March Madness. You could have created a bracket of like the top favorite products and had your patients voting on them. And repurpose. Once you create that video, like I said, the world is your oyster to repurpose from those videos. I was talking to Vanier Media, a close friend of ours. Asked them, what's the most number of times you've repurposed? And infinite, they said. So you could create a piece of content on your phone for maybe $10 and repurpose it. And like we found out earlier, lifetime value of a patient for cosmetic treatments, $8,000. The return on investment is huge. What are your video ideas? Start with why is a video I strongly suggest. That's going to tell you and showcase why your purpose is a lot more valuable than what. So what is what you're delivering to them, whether or not it's treatments, it's non-invasive skincare, or whatever it might be, but your why is going to supersede that. And so really tapping into what makes you unique. You see Dr. Pimple Popper with her own show. She's really built that. Know your goals and your audience. Start with a standard video, like I said, and then you can innovate. So I'm going to show you a few other types of videos that you could potentially leverage. So here we have, this is Dr. Mike. We talked about building your brand. He's leveraged YouTube. He built his entire career on YouTube. He's very successful. People voted him one of the sexiest men of the year, but he has an Ask Dr. Mike series. You could ask people when you're posting on social, do you have any questions? So he's really doing amazing things. Here's an example of a 360-degree video at a practice. So you can scroll around and see the actual practice, which is really great. As an end user, when I get to see, oh man, that looks like a great practice. I see your awards. I see what you're doing. I see how clean it is. I see that it's white. I see that it's both welcoming with flowers. Here's another example. This is a parody video, a bit from Current Medical. So they're doing a parody of bringing sexy back. And then here's another doctor who's really successful. This is a get well video. I'm sorry, this is a get well video where you guys could do as a practice or a heal up. This is from a hospital. So you could send that to every every person that comes through your practice that maybe they're getting healed up or in the recovery period. Here's Z-Dog MD. He raps. He's an MC, but he's also a doctor. And so here's another parody. He parodied Eminem.
One shot, one opportunity.
And so, and here's just another quick, this is you'll see on the bottom, 15 plus unbelievable doctor stories that went viral. And so this isn't necessarily a video, but it became part of a video. It's called Share Your Story in One Tweet. But these are all ways that you can, he could have done this in a video just as well, but I wanted to show you this because you'll see 3,000 people liked it. The first time a patient died, he felt the loss deeply, and everybody told him to toughen up. But now he teaches that you don't have to lose our humanity to become healers. We need to embrace it, and that's what you're doing with these videos, is embracing that humanity, and hopefully it'll help you grow your practice. And so I'd like to open it up to questions. I did want to just show you this thing here. So this is an Instagram thing that we're doing, and I want to show you the success around that. So this is a video that we created for our client, Ciarna Aesthetics. We took their Instagram videos, and so when you're creating videos on Instagram, we made a small sizzle reel out of those pre-existing videos just to showcase the value of video, and I'll show you just quickly about it.
Making an appointment for someone like me, it's almost virtually impossible because I bruise and swell super easy. Bruising matters to me because I am always on the go between parenting, work meetings, school functions, my social life. I literally can't take any time off to heal.
I wanted to let everyone know today about one of my favorite products for bruising, and that is these Ocumen gel pads by Ciarna.
So you get the idea, and we have several other videos here that you can see, Dr. Shudarani, Lori Klein, Tina Ulster, where we took pre-existing video and we're able to compile it into a sizzle reel from the Instagram. So when you start creating the content, you're building it. Content is king. You're laying the foundation. And I'm just sharing this with you here. You'll see they've gotten 8 emails and 8 phone calls from new leads. That was all a result of that video that we created. So if you think about it, 8 phone calls, 8 email leads, that's 16 leads. Let's times that by 8. That's 16 times 8. That's 108,000 if you calculate the lifetime value of a patient. So this is something, if you guys are interested, feel free to email me at the end. We can create something for you guys afterwards, but would love to open it up for questions.
Steve, thank you so much for that very informative presentation. I've been doing this for a while now, and I definitely walked away with some great ideas. And some of my takeaways from your presentation. I mean, really, this gets to the crux of how can you get more patients by using videos, and by having your videos within your website on social media, you're going to improve your SEO. Your patient engagement and education and retention, they're going to grow as well. And as well as you have such a short period of time, those 7 seconds to grab them right up front and make sure they are engaged, and they're going to be wanting to learn more about your services, about the video itself. And then the vertical versus horizontal, a great tip for those that are shooting their own videos and making sure that they are. That's a quick way to format and make sure you're formatting things properly to be able to upload those and get the best response you can get. So thank you very much. And I'm looking at our questions now. Okay, and great. We have a question here. It says, can we quickly go back to the slide that showed start with why? And I believe what makes you unique. So I think it was slide number, I'm not sure, it's maybe 2 or 12. I think it was 12 maybe. This one. Yes, this is the one.
Cool.
And I'm looking to see if he has a follow-up question. So, so what makes you, so the question is, what makes you unique? I think this is the question that's coming through. For you, what makes you unique?
For me, my own self.
For you.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. So what makes me unique is I was trained as an engineer, and so I have a deep analytical background, but I also have a love for creativity and telling stories. And so I've had the ability to take my own individual experiences, both from a left brain and a right brain, to tell stories that make a difference. And so at the end of the day, my goal, having been raised through a product of a divorce relationship, was always to be a great father and to really give back and to raise as many wonderful children, but also the children within us, to instill confidence, to instill, a sense of hope. And so for me, my uniqueness is allowing people to share their own stories and find hope within these stories for a better tomorrow.
Thank you, Steve. Great answer. Okay, a couple other questions here. How long do the videos need to be, and how often should they be posted?
Great question. It's going to be ultimately dependent upon where you're posting them. So if it's a social media campaign, typically I would try and keep your videos under a minute. For the easy answer for that is on Instagram, they don't allow videos longer than a minute. It's just going to make your editing process much easier. And like I said before, after 2 minutes, the attrition rate is going to be immense. So I would strive to do it in 1 minute, and then that'll allow you to really have the cream of the crop rise to the top and tell what needs to be told in the beginning. And like I said, tease them in the beginning. Do you want to know how do you want to know how you can have an amazing treatment but yet still live a wonderful life? And then you start to tell them about that. Or we'll tell you about a wonderful offer at the end of this video, and then you're going to keep them through the entire video. And then in terms of posting them, I would say if you're not doing an Instagram story, or if you're, from a physician's perspective, I would highly suggest Instagram over Snapchat. Snapchat's a little bit of the younger generation. I would suggest an Instagram story every single day. People want to know what you're doing, and then that way they can check back. You want to create habits, and from these habits become routines, and then from the routine ultimately become success. And so Instagram story every single day. In terms of your profiles, I would strive to do one per week. And like I said, that content calendar, it could be video Mondays, it could be Wellness Wednesdays, Transformation Tuesdays. Tap into some of these hashtags that are pre-existing to increase your discoverability. So I would either go Testimonial Tuesdays, Transformation Tuesdays, or Wellness Wednesdays, because you're going to let the beginning of the week sort of die out, and then when they start to get into the middle of the week, you can incentivize them to finish strong. And then also include your own branding as well. So if you're doing hashtag Wellness Wednesdays, then you hashtag Nazarian plastic surgery, or hashtag Stephen Marina plastic surgery, whatever it is.
Perfect. Thank you. And I love how you segment it out, right? It's really easy when you are trying to figure out with your busy schedule, how am I going to make sure I'm getting those videos posted and new posts on the different social media platforms? And if you have just a quick little reminder, oh yeah, it's Monday, this is what I do on Mondays. That's a great tip. There is another question here. Will this presentation be available to listen to? Yes, this will be on the Advice Media website by tomorrow afternoon.
And I'm happy to, if my email's right here, I'm happy to send an email, this actual PDF, because I couldn't get into too many videos, but I have video links connected to a lot of the actual slides there, and I'm happy to answer any additional questions. But yeah, if they want to email me, I'm gladly send you a copy of this PDF as well.
Perfect. Next question, how easy to use are the editing apps you listed? And are they something your average person can learn? Yes,
I mean, and that's the biggest struggle, is people are intimidated. Let me go back to those apps. I mean, iMovie is as user-friendly as it gets, and when you're in Instagram, which I suggest that you would start at Instagram if you haven't done any videos, I would start playing around with Instagram just to start to build your practice. And that's where I would begin, because you can see a return on investment a lot quicker there than YouTube. I strongly suggest YouTube as well, but as you're gaining your comfortability and like posting videos and figuring it out, if you're just starting, start by testing it out on these Instagram video stories. Then do a couple of videos that you film to post on your Instagram profile. And within the platform itself, it actually says edit your video down. So you could scroll over and cut off the beginning if you're like, hey, run the lighting. Okay, ready, get ready, start. Like, you could scroll over and cut off the beginning, and you can also scroll over and cut off the back. And then in Instagram as well, there's 3 buttons. One of the buttons says cover. You click on cover, and you can move the cursor until an image that you think would really incentivize people to click on that video. So I would start there. Once you become familiar with that, then start filming some of these videos on your phone, and then you can go into Video Show like I suggested, or iMovie, and all you really need to do is you drop your video into that. It's a timeline, which it allows you to cut off individual segments. So it's pretty user-friendly. And if I could help you, feel free to email me if you have additional questions. But I would start on Instagram and then download the iMovie, or simultaneously start there. And then once you're messing around with the Video Show app or the iMovie app and feel comfortable, then you can upload those to YouTube. But those videos on YouTube are crucial to your search and organic results through Google.
Thank you. Next question. Tell us more about the price estimator.
The price estimator. Can they be more specific?
I will see. So.
Okay. I think maybe it was the get a quote today. So there's a get a quote today button, which is really amazing, that from a company called Build My Bod. And so what it is it's at the top of a website. Let me go to Sheila's site here, because I know she has it. So right at the top here, and I'll walk you through it really quickly. It's essential because you could actually do this get a quote today. So when somebody sees your video, you could put that get a quote price estimator. You see that? You could put that in your YouTube link, and then you're going to go through a series of questions. That's not really working, but it'll take you through a series of questions so that you can fill out what you're interested in, what you're not interested in, and then you have a lead right there. You have their email, you have their contact, and if for some reason they don't click through and send that, then it lands into a cart, almost like Amazon. And so it'll land in that cart, and it'll remind them in a week. And it'll also remind you as a practice that, hey, there's a lead here that you should maybe follow up on that never finished the actual price estimator. So that's a very valuable contact that you can reach out to them, and you will already know once they start the process if they're interested in a mommy makeover, and maybe they want a tummy tuck and a breast augment. You'll know that these are some of the things that they're interested in. Boom, you send them the breast augmentation video, or how to talk to them about individual things around what they're interested in. But by having that video, it's going to take them to your page. At the page, you're going to have that price quote. You can also embed those actual links in Instagram. So when people are on Instagram, people are like, how am I going to get a lead out of Instagram? If somebody says, oh, I'm interested in this on comment under, you can send them a direct message with that price estimator link, and then they'll go right in and put their email, and then you have their email, and you can target them and then convert them into a paying prospect.
Excellent. Thank you. That looks like a great tool.
Yep.
Next question. And we're just about finished here. And the gentleman that asked that question says thanks. So I think you hit it right on the mark.
Great.
On YouTube, random videos play after our videos. Is setting them up on a playlist key to preventing that from happening? And are there other tips that you recommend?
100%. So let's go to here. So the playlists are essential to having them go to the next videos. Okay, this isn't working. I can't quite find it, so I'll just speak towards it. So having them play, so you should segment your YouTube into a series of playlists. So once you have your videos all on there, make it easy for them. Just like when they come to your website, are they looking for body, body contouring? Are they looking for facial? Are they looking for something that's, weight loss? And so segment their user experience. Same thing on YouTube. Then you can embed, when you share these links to you could have a mommy makeover playlist. It'll start with the breast aug, and then it would go to, a tummy tuck. And then it could go to a mirror dry procedure if they're worried about that as well. And so by having these playlists, it'll take them through to their other videos. And on YouTube as well, you can have your descriptions loaded with keywords, but also have a call to action in there. And those seven words or less, be real specific in terms of the title so that they can come and find what they need. And then in addition to that, you want to have a really engaging thumbnail.
Great. Thank you, Steve. Your timing's perfect. There are no questions. So I'm just going to see. Yep, no more questions. Took one last look here. Steve, thank you so much for walking us through the importance of videos and how to get more patients using video,
Yes.
as well as to all of our participants today. Thank you all for joining us. As I said at the start of the webinar, this will be available tomorrow afternoon at advicemedia.com. And as you can see here, Steve's email address is here if you'd like to reach out and ask him some more questions. And with that, thanks again. And thank you, Steve, for your time. And we'll look forward to our next one in April.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Make an impact.
Thanks, Steve.
Bye.